Hey, I want to talk about the cycles of what I call barbs and bad reads. And this is what we see so often after working with couples for a number of decades, almost 3 decades. And it's the best way to describe it is it starts off with an honorable couple and they start to struggle to some degree. And a man begins to think about, like, what is it that I want to do? He's an honorable man. He wants to be able to please his wife. And over time, that starts off right, but over time it can start to look like keying off of her face. Is it pleasing what he's doing? Like, maybe where would you like to go to dinner on our date? Or, what would you like to do? And he begins to defer to her. He wants to please her. And oftentimes he's keying off of her face, her countenance, her reactions. And that sounds good, but over time it can really begin to look like the man starts to not be leading his wife. And oftentimes, wives, when you're in that position and you can sense that that's where your husband is, that's not what you want. Like, that doesn't feel good, and it's not the kind of leadership that you were hoping that your husband would have, and it can feel really, really odd for you. But what you do recognize is when you're getting maybe a little frustrated and you're poking back a little bit, or there's a little barb that you'll send his way that you'll get a response from. They'll get a reaction. You'll maybe get him to apologize for things. And it can be a little cathartic. He's responding. He's starting to step to the plate to be the man that you would hope he would be, at least in that circumstance. And then he goes right back. And it can be like this ongoing cycle that happens where it's not what they want. And the wife, she's like, I don't want to be doing this. And the husband's like, I'm doing everything I can. And pretty soon it can really begin to feel like, how could we even get out of this? And they both feel really, really stuck because they've been in these vicious cycles for a really long time. And newsflash, men, ladies do not want to lead their husbands. They just don't. That's not how they're wired. They're hoping, men, that you will pick up the mantle of leadership and lead her, guide her, love her, protect her, pursue her, defend her. And when you're not, if you're just keying off of her responses, then it's like her kind of leading the way. And that's where a lot of Christian couples get stuck. And I'm here to tell you that when you can get to the heart of what your wife actually wants, more than what she's just saying in the heat of the moment, find out what she actually needs more than what she's even realizing. In terms of how she's wired, it can feel so much different really, really quickly. And ladies as well, like when you realize that the understanding what it is your husband to be a helpmate, to be an encouragement to him, that you can come alongside him, and instead of shooting the barbs at him, you can actually help awaken him to the calling that God's given to him as the spiritual leader of your home. Once you do that, everything can change.